نلتقي اليوم لنقول كما قال شاعرنا الفلسطيني الكبير محمود درويش: على هذه الأرض ما يستحق الحياة، على هذه الأرض سيدة الأرض، أم البدايات وأم النهايات، كانت تسمى فلسطين، صارت تسمى فلسطين. سيدتي، لأنك سيدتي أستحق الحياة.
على ديني وعلى أرض بلادي، أنا أهلي أنا فديهم، أنا دمي فلسطيني فلسطيني فلسطيني، أنا دمي فلسطيني.
Hey everybody, this is Laith Marouf from Free Palestine TV. Before we continue with this report, I ask you to press the subscribe button on whatever social media platform you're watching this on, and to go to our website freepalestine.video to donate so we can continue bringing you these reports. We are inside the city. We're going into the Marouf Saad Theater, where the Palestinian children gathered from various refugee camps across the country by the group Beit Atfal Assumoud, trained on singing and dancing and arts to perform in commemoration of the Nakba Day, its 78th year since the catastrophe of the expulsion of the Palestinians and the capture of their land by the Zionist colonists. We have with us Abir Hamad from Beit Atfal Assumoud. Abir, thank you very much for being with us.
Yes, of course.
Quickly, a few questions for the audience. What is the origin of Beit Atfal Assumoud?
Beit Atfal Assumoud was founded after Tel Zatar massacre in 1976. Originally, it was founded as a home or a house for the martyrs' children. Then it developed, the services were developed for social care, education, mental health, and all. Yeah.
Perfect. And now it's been how many years since it's been ongoing, and what kind of services is it giving?
It's giving many services. Like each camp has different services, but its core services are social care, sponsorship families, mental health services, educational services for KGs and for learning support students in UNRWA schools. These are the core services, yes. And the institution also is providing extra services such as vocational trainings, life skills, and all.
And today we are commemorating the Nakba Day, but it's more than a month now since the usual commemoration date. Why is it that it's been delayed this year, and how many camps, children groups are involved today?
Actually, today, more than 100 children and youth are participating in this event. It has been delayed because of the ongoing events. Our children, our participants, are gonna perform music. So they're gonna sing and they're gonna perform Dabka. They're gonna perform all kinds of our cultural heritage. Yeah.
Perfect. And it obviously was a long time preparing these youth to perform today. How long was that process?
They have been preparing like The preparation in Beit Atfal Assumoud are always ongoing. Like we're always preparing for what's happening. Like we have a music program. So like in the music program, each Friday they're practicing new pieces, and they're gonna perform the pieces that they're practicing.
Okay, and I see buses coming.
Yeah,
of all these children.
the buses are coming from all over the camps. They're coming. They're the participants and their parents and all of the participants and beneficiaries of Beit Atfal Assumoud all over Lebanon. So it's really amazing how Beit Atfal Assumoud is actually connecting all of us, the Palestinian people and Lebanese and Syrians, of course. Where all of us are connected, like in this one place, commemorating Nakba. We all feel united and as one unit. So this is amazing, really.
Well, just one last thing for
Yeah.
the audience. Beit Atfal Assumoud means the home of the perseverance children, the children of perseverance.
Yeah.
And as we see, 75, 76 years after the Nakba, the Palestinians are still persevering,
Yes.
and their children are still persevering. Thank you very much for having us. Inshallah, we're going to watch the show and
Yeah.
enjoy it with the rest of the families.
Thank you for having me as well.
All right.
نلتقي اليوم في الذكرى 77 للنكبة في ظل حرب إبادة مستمرة على غزة الجريحة لنجدد العهد لشعبنا ونحيي الشعب اللبناني والمقاومة اللبنانية في عيد المقاومة والتحرير ونصر على المقاومة والتحرير. كما نثمن صمود الشعب اليمني الشقيق ونحيي كل قطرة دم نزفت في سبيل تحرير فلسطين. تبقى مؤسسة بيت أطفال الصمود عنوانا للصمود والإيمان بالحق والكرامة، ورؤيتها قائمة على العدالة والسلام والحرية والعودة، حتى يتمكن الشعب الفلسطيني من استعادة وطنه ونيل حقوقه كاملة. نلتقي اليوم لنقول كما قال شاعرنا الفلسطيني الكبير محمود درويش: على هذه الأرض ما يستحق الحياة، على هذه الأرض سيدة الأرض، أم البدايات وأم النهايات، كانت تسمى فلسطين، صارت تسمى فلسطين. سيدتي لأنك سيدتي أستحق الحياة.
Reem al-Biqai, you're responsible for mental health within the Beit Atfal Assumoud. Tell us about the activities that you're having to deal with, especially under the genocide that's been going on, plus these children being refugees in Lebanon.
Okay, thank you for having me today. I am Reem Al-Biqai, a mental health social worker at Family Guidance Center in Badawi camp. We usually, as you mentioned, work with youth and children 18 years and below. We mainly work with the Palestinian refugees, and we have some portion of Lebanese and Syrians and some other nationalities like Kurdish. So we have a multidisciplinary team that includes a psychiatrist, psychotherapist, psychomotor therapist, speech therapist, special educator, and a music therapist. So we have a multidisciplinary approach and a holistic approach. We basically work with children that have like trauma issues, speech problems, stuttering, depressive symptoms, and anxiety, even some identity disorders. So we work in multiple areas in the mental health section. And as I mentioned, we have a holistic approach, multidisciplinary, so we work in a whole collective team. I hope that answered your question.
Yes. And I mean, this year with this genocide, how different was the mental situation of the kids?
The refugees, it's a bit tricky working with displaced groups and marginalized groups. What makes it more tricky and more pressing is the fact that there is a genocide going on in Gaza, and of course the recent war in Lebanon that increased the demands in mental health needs, which is now not a luxury, it's a necessity and must. Like we have increased cases with panic attacks, increased cases with trauma, these untreated trauma that might lead to some personality disorders, for example, and which is really pressing, which is really unfortunate. And the increased cases of panic attacks like bedwetting and speech problems even because of the trauma, it's quite alarming.
And all these activities that Beit Atfal Assumoud provides to these children, like the dance and the music and arts, as a mental health worker, how can you assess how much it helps these children?
Usually we open like a social file that starts with the parent, with an interview for 30 to 45 minutes with each parent. We ask about everything, which is a holistic file that asks about the biography, the developmental stages, how is she like during pregnancy, childbirth, etc., etc. And me and my other social worker, my colleague, we scan and assess the cases, and then we refer them to the therapists. And the children and the youth, they take sessions with the therapist, and sometimes the therapist refer some of the children or their parents for us social workers to conduct some home visits or field visits and work on some specific guidelines and recommendations. And sometimes activities are sometimes more important than the sessions themselves, because it helps children feel more included, like psychosocial activities, like activities like dabki, music. It also helps and increase the sense of belongingness for the Palestinian refugees in the camps. So alongside with the therapy sessions and home visits and other interventions, the activities are as equally as important, because it helps with inclusion, increased sense of belonging, and also it's a place for entertainment. So rather than staying in the neighborhood and being exposed to, let's say, abuse or exposed to other sorts of violence or peer pressure or such, having such activities is a safe haven for children to, you could say, release their energy and direct it into something more productive and more helpful.
Doing mental health work with children is always hard. It's even more harder when the the core issue that's causing this mental health issue is not just
addressed. Yes.
Yes, and in the situation of being a refugee and war and so on, it's impossible to address these issues in a mental health session. How do you deal with this reality?
Okay, as you mentioned, and as I told you before, the needs of mental health support is increasing day by day. And you should actually look about the root and the stem about the problem. If we talk about the recent genocide and war, which actually amplified the mental health issues, there is also the core cause and the stem cause that us Palestinians and other marginalized groups, we don't have the basic rights. So I suggest that we have like a program that works in parallel with the providing the basic needs, especially like the financial needs, like other rights with the mental health. So this should be in parallel with this. It's like, a plant, like let's say you have a tree that doesn't have sunlight, doesn't have water, and we are wondering like why it withered. We just give it vitamins, but the soil is not fertilized and there is no sunlight, there is no water. No matter how much vitamins you give it, it won't flourish. So this is why I think having mental health support program in parallel with providing the basic needs, especially for Palestinian communities that have very low socioeconomic status, because what's happening right now, no matter how much we work on mental health issues, what's really prevalent these days is the sense of hopelessness and helplessness. I think you've heard about learned helplessness, right? Mm-hmm. Is no matter what you do, the situation is as it is.
It's almost like saying mental health care has to go hand in hand with revolution.
Exactly.
And liberation, and those two have to be working at the same time for it to uplift these children.
Exactly, it's a must. And speaking of revolution and freedom and liberation and everything, what's actually also really not surprising but really common in the Palestinian communities and other displaced communities is the fact that there is something you could call identity disorder. Not disorder in the sense that dissociative identity disorder, rather it's more like identity disturbances. Like most of the Palestinians, they just don't know who they exactly are. Like we're refugees, but we're also Palestinians, but we don't have a Palestinian passport or an ID. We're not Lebanese as well. So there is an issue of assimilation and integration, which leads to identity disturbances. So most of the Palestinians, if you, for example, look in daily life, let's say some of us like stuck in some, we link our value to a specific workplace, specific school, a specific environment, not because we are displaced, but let's say, for example, I am X this workplace. So we don't identify each us as an individuals. We link ourselves to a specific place because most of us don't have clear values. So we are lost who we are as a person. So sometimes these cases, how we address it is quite tricky, really tricky, because it's not obvious, it's not clearly reflected. It just reflects how we interact in daily life. So that's why some of us are stuck in some toxic environments or stuck in their comfort zone because they still haven't figured out who they are, which is really a big issue and it's not addressed properly. So in these cases, I think one of the powerful intervention methods is CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, where we work on structuring the values of the person and their core beliefs and to work on it. So I think this is a really important issue and I thought it's important to address it.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you very much, Reem, for all the amazing work that you're doing, and we wish best of luck to all the children and yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Farah Al-Hassan, accordion player with the group of Atfal Beit Assumoud. Tell me about your experience with Atfal Beit Assumoud. How did they help you with your music talents?
Okay, well, I started back in 2012, I guess. I was about 8, yes. It was my second home, actually. It made me closer to Palestine. I learned so much about Palestine. As a child, I didn't know anything from our heritage, our history. So yes, I like it actually. Till I actually become a volunteer. I now have my own group. It made me express myself as in a camp. We don't have so much to do in our life. So I actually love it, yes.
And how does music help you during this genocide and war in Lebanon? and of course being in this refugee camp. How does music help you with that?
Well, it is the big stress, not for the war, the actual our life in the camp. So, and it helped me express myself more and having more self-confidence. And before I hadn't the ability to perform like in front of all these people. Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Farah. We wish you all the best luck, you
Thank
and
you.
all the children of the Palestinian refugee camp. So inshallah, we all return home very soon.
على أهلي على ديني على أرض بلادي أنا أهلي أنا فديهم أنا دمي فلسطيني 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 أنا دمي فلسطيني على ديني على أرض بلادي أنا أهلي أنا فديهم والله أنا دمي فلسطيني 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 أنا دمي فلسطيني.
So that was our report from Beit Atfal Assumoud event at the Marouf Saad Theater in Saida. Please go to our website, freepalestine.video, to donate and press the subscribe button on whatever social media platform you're watching this on. Until we see you next time, I bid you all a free Palestine.